I remember my first paycheck was for a birthday party evening that they had called me.
And where my friends were getting around 40-50,000 at that time for first time chartered accountants. I accepted a job which was like 20,000 rupees per month. So everyone was laughing at me that you are mad or what.
But a fairly successful YouTuber who knows what he's talking about and is able to put out content, what do you think his income is, or his or her income is per month?
I think this is the most important point that we mentioned right now. 2 engineers and 1 chartered accountant in the screen right now.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of Gen Z kids who feel that it's okay to be a college dropout.
Hi. Today we're going to talk about the leap of faith. You know, taking a leap of faith into the unknown is as exciting as it is terrifying. Leaving behind the stability of a 9-to-5 job for something uncertain might feel like jumping without a parachute. But what if that parachute is a solid financial plan? Let's talk about what it takes to make the leap actually and land on your feet. Today we have 2 experts with us, if you please. Rachna Ranade, who's a financial educator, and Yashraj Mukhate, who's a music producer. Both of them have made this transition rather successfully. Today we're going to talk to them about how their mind worked before they took that leap of faith, what were the challenges, and how they landed beautifully on their feet. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start with Yashraj, okay? Viral success can seem like a overnight jackpot to outsiders. You know, they don't see the hard work, they don't see the commitment, they don't see the risks. But what is the story behind the scenes? How did you manage your finances when you were creating music without any guarantee of it taking off?
So I think initially the most important thing is that your parents supporting you.
Correct.
And for me, fortunately, that was there. हमारे अब्बा पहले से ही मान गए थे.
Nice.
So उन्होंने हमेशा support किया. And he also wanted to become a singer.
Okay.
Which did not happen. So he was like, I'll do whatever it takes for my kid, and I'll never ask him कि ये मत करो. He was very supportive. So that was the initial very good foundation that I had, that they never asked me to. उन्होंने बस इतना बोला था, just don't fail in your exams, just pass and do whatever you want to do.
Very
that was a
sound
very strong foundation that I had. And later when I started putting out content on social media and YouTube and everything, people started recognizing my content through Facebook. At that time, that there was YouTube. And that is how I started getting work, freelancing work. I had started doing my live gigs. I remember my first paycheck was for a birthday party evening that they had called me for. And they asked me, you do as you do in your videos, no? We have seen your videos. At that time, I used to do cover videos. They had seen my YouTube videos. They asked me to come and birthday party, you just sing. So I just went there randomly and I started singing. While coming back, they gave me an envelope. And I went home and it was 5,000 rupees. That was my first paycheck. I thought, Achha, I can earn from this. So that was way back, I think 2011.
Okay.
And that is how I started doing that. Then I started some freelancing work. Then ऐसे करते करते I started getting more gigs for background scores, jingle making, radio jingles. Till the time in 2020, one of my videos got viral and then I properly converted, shifted to a proper content creator. But before that, I was doing some kind of freelancing. So while doing that, because my mom had told me, if this doesn't happen, you have to have some degree of some kind of qualification because when you can come back to it. So I did my engineering while doing that. And I finished off my...
Oh, so you did engineering parallelly?
Yes.
Oh, well done.
And engineering was the backup plan. If this doesn't work, any day I can go back and get my job and I won't die hungry. Yeah.
Did you think your engineering education and the time you spent on it helps you in any way in what you're doing today?
At that point of time, I thought that was the worst thing happening to me because I used to struggle each day going there and sitting in that lecture and I used to think, kab khatam hoga, main ghar kab jaunga, and but I realized that after a point when I'm music producing, it helps me to know how to think. It has taught me how to think. The critical thinking helps. That helps me in my finances also. That helps me in my music production also. So if there's another music producers of the same level in terms of talent, I think I am one step ahead of him because I've done engineering.
Nice.
So that helps me here.
I agree with you. Even with my electronics that I did,
Yeah.
it seemed at one point I have to kyun redundant, syllabus पढ़ रहे हैं हम लोग. But in over a period of 25, 30 years in this career, I've realized that every aspect of that education, maybe not the academic, but that education, dealing with people, understanding the physics, understanding the engineering, understanding how things work, are coming back to becoming a great helper right now. With AI coming up, with tools.
Absolutely.
And in cinema, everything is engineering.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
is
yeah.
engineering, right? People think it's an artistic field,
Yeah.
but actually it's an amalgamation of art, engineering, medical, everything that you can imagine as an art form or as a profession is involved in filmmaking. So I never found that to be a waste of time.
Absolutely.
Especially dealing with people, learning the languages, learning the local culture, everything
Yeah.
helped as an actor, right?
Yes.
So that is
100%.
fantastic. But so if I'm right, you did your engineering while you were pursuing your
Yes.
musical talent.
Yeah, so I finished my engineering in 2016 and I did it in electronics and telecommunication because I thought that was the closest to sound engineering at that point of time. And after that, the day I finished I clearly remember the day I finished my final last exam, I was so relieved. I felt like कि अब जाके घर, I'll do now what I want to do. I came back home and I started producing music and making more content. By then, Instagram had also come in. So I started experimenting with this short format content, and then lockdown happened in 2020, and then that video just changed my life.
Excellent. Rachna,
Yes.
so you also made that huge leap. So first of all, my question to you is, what did you actually study for?
I studied my chartered accountancy course.
Okay.
And I don't know how, but with God's grace, I cleared all the levels in the first attempt.
Congratulations. You
So-
must be a genius, man.
It just happened. But I'm hardworking, I can definitely say that. So in 2008, I became a chartered accountant, and after that, I started teaching. So even at that point in time, I had a lot of job offers from MNCs, and where my friends were getting around 40-50,000 at that time for first attempt chartered accountants. I accepted a job which was like 20,000 rupees per month. So everyone was laughing at me that you are mad or what? Such beautiful job opportunities are available, and why do you want to become a college teacher? I said, that interests me. I don't know. I just love when I'm in the classroom. I love to teach whatever I know. So I just want to give it a try. And thankfully, at that point in time, my family was not dependent on me. My dad was working. My brother was also a chartered accountant, so he was working. So I said that if I have that comfort with me right now, why not try and check if my passion is real or is it just like for the time being? So I started working, and 3 years I did a full-time job as a college professor. And after that, I was freelancing at 7 to 8 different colleges in Pune. So every day I used to be like, today, Monday this college, Tuesday that college. So that's how I started teaching MBA students. So even after becoming a chartered accountant, I was teaching MBA students, teaching CA students. I was teaching for a post-qualification course, which is called as forensic audit. I was a SEBI resource person. And all these 4 things I did from 2009 to 2019.
And you passed out when?
2008.
My God. Okay.
So I was 22 when I cleared. Oh God, my age is revealed. I'm sorry. Okay.
We all know you're 23. It's okay.
Right. So 10 years I was teaching for all these different categories, and in these 10 years I found that there is one thing which is missing in the society, which I felt, and that was awareness about money management. Because when I used to teach MBA kids, my classroom used to be always full, and other teachers used to complain that बच्चे भाग जाते हैं canteen में. So one day I thought of taking a proper attendance, and then I found out that a lot of MBA students who had not opted for finance are there in my class. I said, why on earth would you be attending my class? They said, because you teach us about stock market, and that interests a lot. So that was the time I understood that, okay, college students are at least interested. Then I took up sessions on behalf of NISM, which is SEBI's educational initiative. So I used to teach middle-level management, top-level management, and they also got to learn a lot about how to balance out short-term goals, long-term goals, and everything. And that is how, from day one, I can say, I had multiple income streams. So many people ask me that, Rachna, should we go ahead with a full-time job or should we try something else? So I say that always, I at least have believed in the word and rather than or. So you should do A and B and C and D. Don't opt for A or B. So my normal routine used to be 7 in the morning till 9:30 at night. And I've done that for 10 straight years. After which I opted for YouTube in 2019. So my first video actually went viral. My first video, when I had barely 8,000 subscribers, that hit some 25,000 views in 3 months. Today it is around 22 million, that same video. And it's a 1.5 hour lecture which is put up on YouTube, which is about stock markets. So even YouTube has done kind of a case study on that how come a 90-minute long video go viral on YouTube.
Correct.
So the only common factor that I found in the comment section was that everyone felt that yes, that is something, stock market is something which can be pursued. And many people said that you simplify it for even like a third grade student. So people say that you're lucky your first video went viral. I say, I don't think so. It's about my 10 years of investment in teaching that came up in my first video.
Yeah.
So for me, it was not a risk while I took that decision from changing from teaching to YouTube. I was doing all these things simultaneously.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to ask both of you this question, which is, if you could go back to the moment that you decided to take the leap, what advice would you give yourself about money and career planning? I'm going to start with you first, because I know you made that leap. It was almost parallel. It was transitional, right? It wasn't actually a leap.
Yes.
But
I would like to think that I would have been just a little more informed, I think. I would have discovered your channel a little more early.
I know, me too.
Yeah, but I was not, I've recently got a little aware of multiple income sources and everything. I was just, at that point of time, I was just concerned about कि यार ये गाना सही से बन जाए. I was just concerned that the mixing should happen really nicely. So I was not thinking about the finances as such. I was okay with that 5,000 rupees also, because that used to be my pocket money. And recently I've started understanding a little more about wealth management, because there was no wealth before this. So I speak to my friends, my very close friend, my best friend, he has recently become an investment banker. So he suggests me books. And मैं देख के सकता हूँ, अच्छा, oh shit, I'm already 8 years late for investing. I should have started 8 years ago. अभी इतना डालता तो अभी इतना बन जाता था. But I'm right now, I'm just starting out. So I'll subscribe to your channel.
Thank you.
yeah, so the question was, what advice would you give yourself after, when you jumped from your teaching to saying, I'm not going to teach anymore and I'm just going to do YouTube?
Yeah. So I think I will just give the advice, just do what you did.
Anna?
Yeah.
Because see, being a chartered accountant, I had done my math properly. My husband is also a chartered accountant. So he was working at that time. So he had a proper 9 to 6 job. So I think it's the best combination that a husband and wife can have. That one partner is earning a steady source of income, which fulfills all the basic roti, kapda, makan, internet basics. And the other partner can try to see if we can generate that alpha. Yeah, how to generate
so that
that
safety
extra.
net you already had.
Exactly, I had that. Number two, I had tried to get an idea about how much a content creator can earn. So I was, in 2019, I got selected amongst the YouTube Next Up winners. So it's a competition by YouTube where 12 content creators across India are selected as winners. And I was lucky at that time, the theme was women to watch. So only women participants in that. And a lot of famous content creators at that time, someone like Bhuvan Bam, then Flying Beast, all these people had come up there. And I remember Gaurav Taneja, who was a pilot at that time, he said that I am thinking of quitting my job. So I just searched over the internet that how much does a pilot earn? And you'll be surprised to know if you're
Please
not
tell
sure.
me. It's very important to know.
It's 8 to 9 lakhs per month. So I said, oh God, if he's ready to quit his job, so he should have ideally done some calculation that maybe he could at least go break even at that level, may not be exceed that level. So I said, okay, right now I'm earning something around I used to earn around 2 lakhs per month at that time when I was doing all the teaching, I said, ये तो बनता है फिर, I should try and do that. So in 2019, I took that leap of faith. I told my husband that for 1 year, if I earn like very less, should that be okay? He said, okay, my job is enough to support the family. Just try, go ahead, go with full conviction and full hard work. And that's how I took
So,
that
it's very important. I'm sorry, I'm not going to ask you for the exact figures and everything, but for the audience to know what we are talking about, because let me tell you, none of them had an idea how much a proper person like you, and you're a great inspiration for people who are sitting at home and watching, who have a field of expertise. And there are many such great people. I'm not asking about you, but a fairly successful YouTuber who knows what he's talking about and is able to put out content, what do you think his income is, or his or her income is per month?
Very difficult actually.
Let us say upwards of.
But still, I think this is very difficult to
Depends
answer
on
because
multiple factors,
it depends on so many factors. So, for example, a finance content creator may earn a shade more as compared to an entertainment content creator.
Understood.
Even if the numbers are more of the entertainment one.
I'm saying this revenue is generated only from YouTube videos.
AdSense, yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So give us a ballpark figure. I'm just saying it won't be less than this. I'm saying somebody of a proficiency level. The reason I'm saying this, it becomes redundant to the audience
Yeah.
if they don't know what we are talking about.
Yeah.
If you're talking, say, 50 lakhs a year, then they're like, kya baat kar rahe ho? If I'm saying 5 lakhs a year, then they're saying, okay, kya baat kar rahe ho? I just want to know which kya baat kar rahe ho they're interested about.
I think should it be around 50 lakhs
50
a year?
lakhs, yes.
Yeah.
So you're saying
A good content creator.
a good content is
It's
50
definitely not
lakhs?
5 lakhs.
It's definitely
Yeah,
not
yeah,
5.
yeah,
It's definitely not 25 lakhs.
No,
it could
should
be
not.
25 lakhs for some people, I guess.
The bottom line scraping would be around 15 to 20 a year, I'm saying.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
than
A year
20.
should not be more than, I mean, should not be less than 50 lakhs is
Yeah.
what I feel.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. So you're saying at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're talking about, about 4.5 lakh rupees
Yeah.
a month.
Yes.
If you're doing your job correctly and you know what you're talking about. So that's quite a lot of money as opposed to a lot of other professions, right?
True.
But if you're doing it well, then you can go to upwards of 4 times that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Upwards. I'm not asking yours. I'm
See,
saying
I know a very prominent creator. It's about 1.5 crores a month.
a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
So,
YouTube.
Only YouTube because his YouTube is really.
Yeah, so I'm sure these facts are available on the internet, but I'm saying for people not to do that reference right now and go back, I'm saying this is what we're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then I'm going to go to the next, chasing your passion doesn't mean ignoring your bank balance, right? So you had a safety net.
Yes.
You didn't have a safety
Yeah,
net. So
yeah.
the two different perspectives over here because your husband could take care of your rodi kapda, makan, and nowadays internet, which is also an important part of it, okay? So
That's how we survive.
that's right. So the question is, the smartest dreams have a safety net.
Yeah.
A mix of planning, saving, and sometimes side hustling. Let's talk about how you built that financial parachute before you took that leap. Yours, you built it by getting married.
Yeah.
No, but as I mentioned, right, I was working for 10 years.
Yeah. That you must have built a background for it,
Yeah,
right?
of
You must
course,
have, yeah,
of course, of
yeah.
course.
So you saved that money. You're knowing very well that you're not going to be out on the streets when you're taking that leap
Absolutely.
of
Yeah.
faith. So you think that is important to be able to take the right leap of faith?
100%. I have seen a lot of people who are of the burn the boats category.
Yeah.
Means, you cross a river by a boat, then you burn the boat so that you have no other option. You have to, prove yourself. You don't have an option to go back.
Correct.
Is what I've heard as, one of the stories.
Yeah.
I don't belong to that.
You don't
Because
belong.
I believe that कुछ भी गलत हो सकता है. It's not necessary that whatever you plan has to be executed. You can give your level best, but if it's not destined, it may not happen. So what I did was, when I decided to do YouTube, I did not give up all my other income streams. I started giving up just one by one.
Correct.
So I was doing, as I mentioned, I was doing 4 other gigs. So I just stopped one first.
Correct.
When I could see that, okay, my YouTube is doing well, I stopped the second. Then I
Yeah.
stopped. And ultimately, the last one to stop was my CA teaching.
Correct.
Because that was an emotional decision as well. That's
So
how I
it's
started
very,
my
very
career.
common to what I did too.
Okay.
Because I never wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
I've never studied acting or anything about cinema.
Okay.
So I came from Kolhapur.
Yeah.
I was teaching there.
Yeah.
And when I was studying, I was teaching public speaking and communication skills and personality development and social etiquettes and all that. And I was making, at that time, I was making the kind of money. I was making about 80,000 rupees a
Wow.
month at that time, just teaching for 10 days. But when I came to Bombay, I came to teach, and acting happened by chance. So you were right. I said, I'll do one course in a month. बाकी तो acting से हो रहा है. Then I said half a course कर लेता हूँ. फिर मैं सोचा उसको should I designate somebody else to do that teaching, because then I realized that is completely being unfaithful to my students. So I stopped that.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say that I had a great parachute when I went into acting, because even now I don't think I have a parachute as an actor. Because you know what? People don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As an actor, everybody thinks we make a lot of money. It is true. But with making that money, we need to have a certain lifestyle
Exactly.
and a certain projection that helps us make that money.
Yes.
So I can be humble and I can be very quiet and I don't need bodyguards and I don't need a bridge card. Could be a situation.
Yeah, yeah.
But even if I walk with my family down, I need to be
Yes.
left alone or to be able to do what I need to. And I need a certain amount of
Security.
protection. I need to know people won't take a picture of mine while I'm sleeping with my mouth open and snoring on the plane and put that out on social media, because that's worth a lot of money. So now we have to travel on a certain class so that doesn't happen. right?
Occupational hazards.
It is an occupational hazard, but also conducive to making that kind of money. So, which is why you are different from both of us,
Yeah,
because you had no net.
Yes.
You're like,
No, but I had the net. The degree course was the net. कि कुछ नहीं हुआ था, I'll do this. And also there's a famous scene from my favorite film, 3 Idiots, where Sharman Joshi's character is at the interview after his accident.
Correct.
And they ask him कि you are not fit for the job, how will we get you to the job for this? So he says कि मैं बहुत गिर पड़ के सीखा हूँ, मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो लाइफ के साथ कर लूँगा.
Correct.
That is the conviction that he had on his belief system. So that I had. कि till the point the video went viral, before that only I had mentally safe in myself कि अभी कुछ ना कुछ तो कर लूँगा.
So your safety net was your attitude.
Maybe. So I think मैं गा लूँगा, I'll do live shows, I'll do background scores, I'll do short films, I'll assist someone, I'll do whatever I want because I have spent time in making my craft right. So I have that with me. मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो करूँगा, भूखा नहीं मरूँगा. That I had in mind.
No, this is a very important point. I'm saying the reason I'm saying this is because when you have to survive in today's world,
Yeah.
your level of expertise should be so much that you're able to make a mark in that field.
yeah.
Now, all the parents are worried कि इतना पढ़ा के, इतना पैसा खर्च करके, and you know, बहुत सारे घरों में ऐसा होता है कि फादर ने लैंड बेच दिया, घर बेच दिया, गाड़ी बेच दी ताकि बच्चों को पढ़ा दे. फिर उनका मतलब दिल टूट जाता है जब बेटा कह रहा है कि मैंने कर ली इंजीनियरिंग पर मुझे इसे परस्यू नहीं करना है. Right? So that becomes a big fear for the parent. They don't know what they did wrong or right.
Yeah.
The only proof of whether they've done things right is the attitude of the child is such that they become successful in whatever they do.
Yeah.
Right? That is very, very important, correct?
100%.
So building up that attitude is important.
Yeah.
I think that contributed to your success as well because it takes a lot of grit to think कि मैंने CA खत्म कर दिया, अब मैं जाके पढ़ाऊंगी, कम पैसे लूंगी, and I'll make sure that I'll stand in front of people who are more educated than me and then
Humble.
find a value. No, I think it's the attitude.
Yes.
You know, that's what happened to me. In fact, it's very similar to what I used to do because I was teaching public speaking and communication skills to small-scale industries when I was 21 and my students were 47, 48. So they used to look at me the same way कि पता नहीं ये चिकना क्या पढ़ाएगा क्या आ रहा है. It took me exactly 7 minutes
Yeah.
कि वो बैठ जाते थे.
Exactly.
You know, एक तो होते हैं ना ऐसा बैठे बात कर like ऐसा बैठे होते हैं ना फिर वो जाके ना ऐसा बैठ जाते हैं
इसको वो पता है भाई.
और फिर ना ऐसा बैठ जाते हैं. And that's what you're looking for.
True,
That's when you know
true,
you're
true.
doing something right.
Exactly.
Correct? So I think that safety net might not just be a financial or a
Yeah.
bank balance.
Yeah.
It could be that of your qualification as well as your attitude, right? So
I
want
think, if I just may
Sure.
interrupt, I think this is the most important point that we mentioned right now. 2 engineers and 1 chartered accountant in the screen right now.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of Gen Z kids who feel that it's okay to be a college dropout. See, I'm not saying that college dropout is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But I personally am of a very strong belief that maybe 100 out of 100, 2 or 3 dropouts may be able to make it big. But what about the balance 96, 97? I'm sure they may be struggling quite a bit to at least get the basics right. But if we have a strong educational background, at least basics to set hota hai. So we should give this message. I mean, I would like to give this message to everyone that don't undermine the importance of educational qualification. I feel that's a basic safety net and that
Rachna,
gives you courage.
I will agree with you to a certain extent. And I'm not at all saying a college dropout and every college dropout is going to be a successsul person. But you have to be in a line that you're very, very interested in.
True.
Sometimes,
true.
unfortunately, I'm saying 80%
Yeah.
is, or I don't know if I'm really wrong, of the people, imagine what I'm saying. You're taking education and an academic syllabus and assuming that all the people studying there are going to be heading in that direction. Okay. In that case, we won't have prompt engineers, we won't have sound recordists, we won't have hairstylists, we won't have art. You're put in a classroom, but I'll come to the point that you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that if you put in a classroom and assuming that every one of these is going to go ahead in one direction, that's not going to happen because everybody's skill set and ability to apply themselves is different, right?
Different.
But why is college education important? And I would put my last rupee to bet on that. Your academics might become redundant, and in all cases it will be because AI will take over, what you have to learn will change completely. But your education will be enhanced when you go to an academic institute
100%.
or any institute of your choice.
Yeah.
What it tells me as somebody who's your future employer or your audience is that you have the ability to apply yourself, you have the grit to go through what is expected of you, you have the hard work that is required for you to put in to pass those exams and come out flying colors. So your ability to commit yourself to something. For example, I have the greatest amount of respect for somebody who has a great physique because he's worked so hard at it, as opposed to somebody who's very average with a high academic degree.
It requires certain kind of discipline, requires
You
certain kind of
need,
dedication.
you need sort of commitment, right? So now the question to you is, today you have launched your own music channel, okay, Yashraj, and YM Originals, am I right? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Does that change how you make money off your own music?
So right now it is at a very initial stage, but and I produce my own original songs because the kind of content that I've known for is the short format content which I do on different platforms. So I wanted to make a place for myself where I'll put original music, and probably if it grows well, I'll get other artists to put their music on that channel also. But right now, and again, that was an idea given to me by someone to get a different income source apart from my social media content. But recently, I met someone and they told me that live shows apparently will pay you much better than what you're doing on social media, because that's one asset. You keep on selling it over a period of time in multiple. So I'm in the middle of making my life set right now. So probably next year I'll be doing that. Yeah.
Great. So, question to you. Side hustles can be great safety net, which means the double income.
Yeah.
But should people try first, before making their career leap, should they try to financially secure themselves?
Yeah.
We've already discussed this, but he did not do that.
So there's a concept called as emergency funds. Typically, this is for people who are working. Let's say I'm doing a job somewhere. No one can guarantee that I'll stay in that job forever.
Correct.
Someday my boss may say, okay, thank you, bye-bye. So in that case, I should at least have a 6 months net. So what is that 6 months net? I ideally should calculate all my monthly expenses.
Correct.
I should multiply that by 6, and whatever is the amount, I should keep that in maybe a fixed deposit or even in a saving bank account.
Okay.
In short, that money should be accessible to me at any point in time. So here, I'm not giving focus on returns. It's on safety and liquidity. If I'm able to withdraw it whenever I want to.
Correct.
Right? Now, this 6 months cushion is required because I need that mental peace that if I'm not able to find a good job in a month, in a 2, in a 3, then at least I have a 6 month, net with me. But then it could be different for different people. And if it's a switch from a job to a profession,
Yeah.
then I think it should be much more.
How much more?
I personally feel it should be at least 1 year.
1 year.
That's what I had done. Of course, my husband, as I mentioned, he was my big safety net.
Yeah.
But for myself, I had decided that whatever money my family would need for 1 year, I would keep that money aside as a contribution from my side as well. So I had kept one year money, but again, it depends on your family income as well. Like I said, in my case, it was my husband. So if I were to put in he gave references of 3 idiots. So I think I should also give one reference. So like Ranchod Das Chanchad, his level of his family income, I must say, was really good. So for him to decide, his emergency fund could have been less because his father could have supported him with money. In Farhan's case, I think it was definitely lower than Ranchod Das, and he should have gone ahead with at least, he should have done his math accordingly because he comes from a middle class family,
Correct.
right? And for Raju Rastogi, I think
For sure.
Yeah. Otherwise,
2-year fund.
Yeah, and Maruti 800 and all that. Yeah. So many things to consider in
Very
his
well
case
put.
as well, right?
Very true. I'm saying for you, just before I move on to the next topic, how do you bifurcate the income that you're making? I'm talking not in terms of the amount, but in terms of percentages to assure that, see, for an artist, you cannot perform on an empty stomach.
Yes.
And as an actor, if I'm looking for work to survive,
Yes.
it's very different from an actor who's vying for a role where his bread and butter is not dependent on it.
Correct.
His attitude of going onto the set and doing this screen test is very different to somebody who's desperate to get it.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that your financials in such a manner that you're not coming to that
It's slightly difficult. I'm in the middle of making it happen because the primary thing is the brand works that I do. I make music only for them. And in my social media content also, I make music only. But when I'm asked to make music for the brand, and then there are constraints to make the brand also come out, and that's a difficult process because the artist inside me tells him, this is very bad.
Right.
But then they are going to pay me. So I have to balance between the two, and then that struggle is still on because it takes a lot of stress to make them understand that please let me do what I want to do and also pay me. So if they're paying me, I have to agree to what certain things they are saying me. But that balance is only everything. And also then I have to put my face on social media. The worst thing is that I can't put this jingle out and give them the jingle and they'll do. I have to make sure that I'm there singing the jingle and telling the audience ki ye kharido. So that's a different part.
Here is something that people don't understand. The amount of hard work you have to do to understand the medium first for it to be relevant on it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I want to be a YouTube. You have to know who to approach, how to do the editing, how to do the mixing, how to put the
algorithm.
video, the algorithms, how to approach the algorithm. Algorithm to dur ki baat hai. How to make the content in the first place. Which camera to
Yeah.
use, who are you going to go for editing, who are you going to for, all that is also an investment. And also, changing as we learn. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And so this is very exciting, but you have to know the pitfalls involved in making that leap of faith.
Yes.
So my question to both of you is,
Yeah.
what part of your passion should stay as a passion, and what part of it should not stay as a passion and should be monetized? There is a chance and a fear that what you're doing as a passion can sometimes over a period of time become a job, which means it just has to be executed without the creativity to it.
Yes, yes.
So what would you say?
I think there's a very good explanation by Javed Akhtar in one of the interviews I saw, where he explained the difference between art and craft. Okay. Now he said art is something that comes from inside you, the artist inside you, your inspirations, your aspirations, the things that you think about, the things that you dream about. All those things combined together is your art, is your expression. But craft is not that. Craft is your perfect mathematics. It has certain limitations, it has some constraints, it is calculations. So the art part of it, where you are expressing, that part have to be very creative, where you can't put constraints to it. But when the craft comes, when they have asked me to make a jingle which is 60 seconds, I have to make it 60 seconds. I can't tell them कि नहीं मैं थोड़ा लंबा कर देता हूँ, मेरा मन कर रहा है. It can't be that. So the craft has to be right, and it only happens with practice, I think. So I think if you practice more on the craft, you'll be able to manage it equally. That is what I think.
So you will never compromise on your craft. You might compromise on your art.
I have compromised on my craft recently sometimes. But yeah, the management is that I would not like to touch my art. Craft, I can little bit, I can ask them कि यार ठीक है, if they tell me कि 10% कम कर दो, that I can do.
For me, I think, see, again, being a chartered accountant, I feel that my passion has to be monetized. It just depends on who is the TG that I'm referring to. So I do one live event per month, which is for the economically backward sections of the society. So many NGOs approach my office and they say that we want Rachna to explain. There are a lot of women, let's say last month we did this session, which was for women who stay in the slums. And the maximum amount of money that they are drawing per month was around 7,000 to 8,000 rupees.
Oh God.
Yeah, yeah. And for them, how can they manage their money? I think that in itself is a big task because...
I think that's a bigger challenge than having to manage hundreds of crores.
Exactly. Because it's...
Survival.
Exactly. I mean, managing your needs, your essentials, and plus saving some money out of that and ensuring that you're not putting that money in any risky asset class so that, just that money goes away. So I taught them about some very basic stuff, about some government schemes essentially, where money will be safe. It may not grow at a very high pace, but it's safe, it grows slowly and steadily. And I always say it's about the willingness rather than the ability. I think everyone has that basic ability.
Are you saying that their salary is 7,000 to 8,000 rupees a month?
Yeah.
Less than $100 a month?
Yeah.
Well, we have to change that about this country, right?
But I feel every country has that. I really doubt whether there'll be any country on the... Because I've seen a lot of people saying that India may...
No, I'm just saying that there is a minimum wage everywhere.
Yeah.
No, but these were ladies where their family members don't allow them to do a full-time job.
So, I see.
Right? So maybe they were side gigs.
That's a different
So maybe they were stitching dresses or making some agarbattis or something like that.
So it's akin to your sort of income right now, compounding the income of the family, and therefore that makes a lot of sense.
So I feel this is where my passion need not turn into money. Here it's more about giving back to the society.
Yeah.
And when I get any, if someone says that, Rachna, we want your show for a corporate, I just say, are they earning more than me? Yes. I'm going to charge them double.
Yeah.
So that's where I make up for the money.
Fair enough. That's when but the fact that it continues not to be a job because it still excites you no matter who you're doing it for. I'm sure it excites you a lot more when you have to take a 7,000 rupee challenge as opposed to a bigger corporate. But that's exactly how I feel. In fact, in my profession, I don't have the choice of doing that as an actor, but when I do it in the other fields, I feel equally rewarded when I do that. Okay, that's great. So, Rachna, as you get more and more famous, is there anything you do to keep yourself grounded?
I think, again, I had read this. Social media, brings us a lot of ideas, I must say that. I had read this on Instagram. It's not my original thought. But there was a forward which mentioned that quick success builds ego. And slower success builds character.
Correct.
So I think I belong to the second category because I've taught for like 10, 12 years. And the same teaching, when it was uploaded on YouTube, because I got a good medium to reach out to a wider audience, that is when it clicked. So I know that I've struggled so much to prove myself. And now people are recognizing my work. So I always keep that at the back of my mind that, okay, Rachna, this is the fame that you're getting, but it's not, I mean, no one can guarantee that this is going to last forever.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it has just grown over the years, but I still keep on reminding myself that kuch bhi ho sakta hai.
Correct.
In fact, my Nana ji used to tell this story that he used to tell that there was a king and he used to wear a ring on which it was written, ye din bhi jayenge. So it's to be taken in both the ways.
Yeah.
Neither the bad days are going to last forever, nor the good days are going to last
This
forever.
too shall pass.
Exactly. So,
Very famous story.
yeah.
I'm coming to you. You had the good fortune of actually working with the likes of Lucky Ali and stuff, right?
Yes.
That's brilliant. How was it working with him?
Oh, it's all big artists that I've worked with. They have all been so generous and they go out of their way to make me comfortable. They don't need to do that, but it's very collaborative. And when it comes to music, when I make something good, they appreciate it like कि यार ये क्या मस्त बनाया. Then the other artists will never hold back. So I find that very amusing. And all the artists that I've worked with, all the singers, all the music composers, whenever some magic happens in that studio, everybody reacts as if, even if we have met for the first time, suddenly everyone is on the same page. So I really enjoy that part of it.
As you grow bigger, does it become difficult to trust how difficult is it to trust people around you?
For me, it is slightly difficult
Huh?
because I have been doing everything myself for a very long period of time.
Right, and it's worked for you.
It has worked for me. So first of all, it becomes harder for me to explain it to someone. Please, why do I need this to be done in a certain way? So that is a difficult task. But eventually, I think I have made a team for myself who understand me, and the more I work with them, eventually I'll get there.
Rachna, I mean, as I have seen that as you become bigger and more successful, people's attitude towards you changes. Has your family's attitude towards you changed? I'm sure it would have changed. I'm not saying that it was bad and it's become good, but must have been some changes. And who is the financial advisor in your family?
I think the attitude is more or less similar, is what I must say. I had a love marriage, so they have been knowing me since I was in grade 11.
Okay.
So from grade 11 till today. So they have known me for a long number of years, and the attitude, to be honest, is more or less similar. Not on a financial angle, just giving you a parallel humor example that even today, if the maid doesn't come at home, I'm the one who is cleaning the utensils and my mother-in-law would sweep the floor. So attitude is exactly the same, is what I must say. But if it's about money management, it's always me and the husband who do it together. Because we both are of the opinion that this is one task which it should not be given to only one person in the family. Because life is so uncertain, and if something were to happen to someone, then the other partner must know where is the money parked, in which asset classes it is, what are the passwords, is it written on a piece of paper or not. So what we have actually done, we have all of the list of all our assets, who is the nominee for that, where is it kept. So we have actually printed that and kept it in a locker. So just in case if anything happens, no one can guarantee life.
Correct.
So I always say this to all the women out there, because generally women are of the category who say that finance is not my cup of tea. So I tell them it's okay if you don't take the financial decisions, but
have coffee instead, but have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least be aware of what's happening in your house.
Correct.
You should know about all these decisions.
Correct. Yeah. So when you both started earning more in your new careers, did your spending habits change? Did you have splurge moments, like, hitting a milestone? I want to buy myself a car, buy a house, go for a holiday.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
We are, I mean, that middle class mentality doesn't go away for us even today. Even today in Pune, you will find me riding my scooty with a helmet. I mean, there are so many fans who would, just wait by my side and say, you are on a scooty, no one else is there to protect you. I was like, kya hoga mujhe? So, no big splurge moments per se, but I'll definitely share this, that last year, it was the first time that we flew business class. So it was not like we were not having enough money. I would have easily flown a business class even 10 years ago. But it was just that we felt that, okay, kuch aise karte jo nahi kiya hai abhi tak. I will experience it. So that was the biggest splurge thing.
Same thing, because when you get that first, you see those numbers in your account, bank balance, the thing is that कि अभी तो करता हूँ. अभी I'll go on Amazon or I'll go on some Make My Trip and high to low में करूँगा price. And I'll see the most expensive thing.
Good
but
one.
then you go and see the most expensive thing. थोड़ा थोड़ा कम करते हैं. It'll go down. But the best thing I did was that those small things like getting a trimmer for that matter. I went on the internet, searched for the best trimmer in the world, and got the best trimmer. And I thought it was not that expensive also. I could have got it before also. But now the mindset has changed.
Yeah.
So I went for the most expensive trimmer.
You know, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important that you punctuate
Yeah.
every success with an attitude like this.
Yeah.
I've done that all the time.
Yeah.
If irrespective of whether I could afford it or not.
Yeah.
And when I say afford it, it is not money borrowed or begged or stolen.
Yeah.
It's my own money.
Yes.
But sometimes if I see an opportunity where the experience of that is going to enrich me,
Yes.
then I don't look at the cost.
Yeah.
Then I have to do it. I have to make sure that it's not like, let me say, buying an expensive car is not an experience.
Yes.
It's a indulgence, right? It's a एक बार चला लिया उसमें
Also, it's an depreciating asset as well.
don't tell me all that. अच्छा कार है. For me, I justified in 10 different ways.
Yeah.
If I don't go in that car, my producer doesn't give me that
Yeah.
kind of money. He thinks I can only afford this car. And then getting that car gets me a bigger brand. All that, the justifications are all there. But at the end of the day, it's a car that travels at exactly the same speed as any other car in Mumbai traffic.
It's on the same road.
It's on the same road. But the point is, buying it
Yes.
or achieving that milestone, for me, kind of like, oh, ye to kar liya maine, let's do. And then every time you look at it, or every time you remember that experience, or every time you think of that one special thing that you could, that was an indulgence,
Yeah.
and the endorphins that kicked in when you were,
Yes.
when you were executing that, I think is a great motivation for me. I look forward to that, So मेरा film hit होता है, मुझे लगता है अब तो यार कुछ और करना चाहिए मुझे. Let me see what I can do, और film flop हो जाता है, I need something
Yeah.
to enhance my spirits.
Yeah. Correct. You look at the same car.
Both are indulgences. Okay, so anyway, today music creation is a lot more accessible than what it was 10 years ago. Any tips for someone watching this episode to make it big in the industry without contacts or money or help?
I think right now is the best time
है ना?
for music producers, singers, guitar players, performing arts wale.
Right.
Because the social media has directly connected you to your audience. And हमारा देश इतना बड़ा है ना, you will get your audience. आप कितना भी थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर
That is
नीचे,
so
the basic
true,
craft has to be
very
right.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so many people looking for your content.
Yeah.
Any genre you pick up, you'll get your audience. 10-20 हजार लोग तो देखने आ ही जाएंगे. So that is there. So it's the easiest because you can do it on your phone. The phone's quality have gone up so much. And also there's one part which I recommend to all the upcoming social media creators is that you have to actively consume a lot of content. Actively is the key word because if you just keep on dumb scrolling, it's not going to get you anywhere.
yeah.
But if you just actively consume a lot of content, it will help you think better. It will give you ideas. It will tell you what ideas have been done. It will tell you what is that new thing that you can do which has not been done yet. It will make you understand a little more about algorithm. It will make you understand about the thumbnails and the technical aspects of the social media. So I think if you consume actively, and if you just do it, my friend has been trying to make a video since 3 months. He's been making the script, abhi banata hu, kal banata hu, and he's just not being able to do it.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Feeling terrible. I have so much to say.
Yeah.
But I just can't get down to it, man. Yeah.
No, but it's easy once you put it out and just be ready for all the good, bad, negative comments.
Hey, I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Be absolutely, it doesn't matter if you're God,
Yeah.
you're going to get negative comments because people take a lot of pleasure in writing it.
Yeah.
Do not get, deterred by it or demoralized.
Just do it.
That's part of your life. Understand that the person who's making that negative comment has enough problems on his own and mostly not of the caliber to even comment on your work, which is great. The really sincere ones don't have any. So people, I've seen it. There'll be like 8 comments and 1 negative comment that will grab our eye all the time because it's negative.
Yes.
Okay? And then you suddenly realize, फुद्दू ने कुछ 4 कमेंट लिखा है उसके लाइफ में
उसने 4 अलग-अलग पोस्ट पे जाके
6 फॉलोअर्स हैं and poor chap is in doldrums himself.
And the username will be very different. I mean, that username will also not be a
even
proper
real.
name.
90% without a photograph also.
Yeah.
So it's we don't even. In fact, I want to tell people that people get deterred by these negative commentators. Negative comments that come in. You should actually
super analyze that. See who is the person, what are they doing, and what's the objective behind saying it. Is it a constructive criticism, which is more than welcome?
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes I've learned a lot from that. But is it just a wayward, I have a little more wisdom than you, and I have no life left in my real life, so I'm going to try and make myself prominent in your life.
The best way to look at it is that one negative comment is one more engagement on your post.
That's right. There you go.
Which you can monetize.
Yeah.
So,
And don't react to it.
True.
Don't justify anything you've ever said on a negative comment, because it doesn't matter what you say. There'll be a misinterpretation to it. And so the best is to ignore. And like you said, one more engagement, moving on. Rachna, the question to you is, how can finance professionals like chartered accountants or bankers build a strong personal brand online? Any special tips for them?
Two things. They need to understand what do they want to convey, and based on that, they need to understand the target audience. So, for example, if I'm a person who is very much into international taxation, right? So, I should understand this for a fact that I'm not going to get a wide set of audience, because ऐसे कितने ही लोग हैं who are going to really bother about what are the international taxation rules.
Correct.
But for a person like me who wants to spread awareness about personal finance, investments, stock market, mutual funds, which is like a thing in every single person's life.
Correct.
Then I should understand my target audience and prepare accordingly. So if it's for the bottom of the pyramid, I should try and make sure that it's as simple as possible, as entertaining as possible. But if it's at the top of the pyramid, I can make my content a little bit more intricate, well tailored, and go into.
When you say tailored,
details.
do you also change the language?
Absolutely.
So when you go to the bottom of the pyramid, what language do you communicate in?
The comment that I get always is that we feel that Rachna is the girl next door. So it has to be as simple as possible.
What language?
I introduce a lot of Marathi when some small 2-3 words here and there.
Okay.
Or
but it's basically in Hindi or in English?
it's in English.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so even in English, I mean the secret is that my English is not that great, and that is the reason why I don't know any fancy words. It's a pretty much colloquial style of English that I have. So I would just stick to that set of words which anyone could understand who understands basic English.
But it's basically in English.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Good. That's great insight.
Yeah.
So now coming to almost the end of our interview, one of the questions that I wanted to ask you both is, you work so hard, and you've got your fame, okay? What is it about fame that you really enjoy? What do you think fame contributes to in your life?
Yeah.
And because of all your hard work that you've got it, what do you enjoy about fame?
I got to talk to you today.
Oh, there you go. That's a lovely way of saying it. Okay.
That's right.
and one more experience I would definitely want to share. Maharashtra elections just happened a few weeks ago, and for that, PM Modi had visited Pune, my hometown. I got an opportunity to see him off at the airport. But while going there, I think that was the biggest experience that I got. When I went and there was a mall, I was just having coffee. After having coffee, I came outside the mall, and the watchman of the mall, he came up to me and said, "Tumhi paishacha channel kaitri ahe na tumcha." So in short, he said that, "Hey, I know, you talk about money, and I watch your Marathi content as well." After that, when I was heading to the airport where our Prime Minister was going to land, there were a lot of checkposts, and at every checkpost there were 2 army officers who were standing there. At each checkpost, out of 2 army officers, one person recognized me and he said, "We watch your content about investment." While I was doing the final security check, and while the army officer who had the list of all those who were allowed to go inside, when he was reading out the names, and he was so tall, his height was even above our car. So when he read my name, Rachna Ranade, and he just peeped inside the car and said, "Oh, ma'am, is that you?"
Nice.
Oh God, and I mean that was such a pleasing. I mean I have no words for that, I must say.
Yeah.
But those people who serve our country, and I get a chance to at least make that 0.1% contribution in their life, I think.
Well said. Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thank you.
How about you?
I have very cheap thrills of.
Very important, man. Cheap maybe, but very important.
Yeah,
Best
because
thing life
there's
comes
one
cheap.
part where the thing is that I put out content and it reaches R.Rahman and I get to meet
Yeah.
him. That is one part that he recognizes me by my face and my name, and he has seen my work and he appreciates it. That is one part that I really enjoy. There's another part that I went with my wife to exchange her laptop 2-3 days ago, and I get treated so well because he'd seen my content and he really likes my videos. I enjoy that small privilege so much. that I'm being treated differently in it's a small shop.
Yeah.
And even if it would have not treated me like that, I wouldn't mind. But that extra privilege at the security counter, I'm standing at McD, I'm getting my order little faster than usual.
You
So
know
that's
what?
small things I relate.
I cannot agree more with both of you.
Yeah.
Because, see, even though, I mean, if I have to brutally say what I do a job, I enjoy doing the job,
Yeah.
I make stories, I have a glamorous life, I make my money, and God's grace, we make enough of it to live a happy life. And we are, of course, subjected to all sorts of comments and everything. But it's lovely to be famous. But the one aspect of fame that I love the most is that I could be sitting in my car, having a tough time on the traffic in Bombay or any other place in the world. And somebody else is on a scooter beside me, having a tougher day. Yeah. He's having a horrible day. You can make out, it's like raining, it's drenched, he's trying to think. All I have to do is open my window and I say hi.
Yeah.
And that guy looks in, he says, Mary, and the amount of joy in his face. Yes. Just because I could give him that moment. I know he's going to go home and say, guess who said hi to me today?
Yeah.
He could also say, pata hai kis buddhu se main mila. That's both okay, as long as like engagement is there. Huh? It could be both. The engagement is matters, okay? Yeah. But the fact that you created a moment in his life, and it's so easy for celebrities to do that. Just acknowledging a smile, acknowledging somebody looking at you, and you're like, hey, it's like, boss, उसने मेरे को wave किया यार. वो उसका attitude था, मैं तो वो actually उतना लंबा नहीं था मेरे को लगा था. They have all that also happening, which is great. But अब देखने में कितना मोटा बड़ा poet था यार उसका. All that is okay. But I have engaged you in my life, And the same thing goes for, when you go to the defense personnel. Yeah. I actually feel guilty because they look at me like I'm from the defense because of the roles that I've done. Oh, sir, wo Rang De Basandi mein dekha tha, or Seahawks mein dekha tha, whatever it is, And so I think that experience of having to provide joy with absolutely zero effort is worth all the hard work that we do to become famous. So guys, I'm going to go into a rapid fire so that I can understand and our audiences can understand you better. So, your first question is, your passion project needs an investment, but your savings are for a dream vacation. What do you pick?
Oh, I'll drop the dream vacation any day. Any day. Passion project above anything.
New Zealand, and I've planned that, and I'm going to fly in less than a week, so I just can't say any other answer.
So, if you get like a huge investment coming in right now for a fantastic dream project of yours, you'll say no?
I think I have tried and built enough that if I say that, sir, please allow me 3 weeks to enjoy with my family and allow me to get back to you after 3 weeks, I think they'll say yes.
You know what? Any worthy project will wait for it. Yeah. That's my way of judging it.
Exactly.
Yeah, ये picture करनी मैंने कहा भाई एक मिनट. अगर आप चाहते हो कि मैं करूँ, मैं आता हूँ 2 महीने के बाद. You're ready to wait?
Correct.
So, it's my dream project, it's my dream role. But if you're not ready to wait, it's not my dream role.
Absolutely. I think I had that opportunity to even listen to Amir Khan once live in Delhi. And he had said exactly the same thing, that he had done, I forgot that movie, Dhoom, I think, Dhoom 3, where he was like very hunky and that kind of person. And after that, he was offered this Dangal. And he said, that was such a big change for me, the way people perceive me. And he said, I will not do it for at least 1 or 2 years. Are you okay with that? And they said yes.
Yes.
So the same thought process, right? If they want to do it with you.
Amir can do, I can say 1 or 2 months.
That's why I said 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. Making a trending reel or act in an ad, what would you prefer to do?
Trending reel for sure.
Trending reel.
Yeah.
Trending reel and act in it. Yeah. Okay, fourth one. One guilty pleasure you will never cut from your budget.
I don't think I have a lot of guilty pleasures.
Yeah, same idea.
But if you don't, you have any one?
I don't think so.
No guilty pleasures?
No guilty pleasure. I have a lot of sweet food. That's what. I
But
think that's
from your budget, sweet food.
No. I mean, I am sure I don't have one.
Yeah.
So I have like a state-of-the-art technology has to be with me whether I use it or not.
Oh, that's
it's
not
a guilty pleasure.
That's
a guilty pleasure. Bro. I used 16% of the capability of my iPhone. That's a guilty pleasure. Huh? But I have to have the latest, man. Also feel like, yaar, औकात कम हो गई. Okay. Now, the most extravagant thing you bought after a big win. Careful after how you answer it. I answered in one of the interviews and I said I bought myself a yacht and they think I have like a $65 million yacht, which I don't have. So just letting you know.
I don't think I have bought anything really expensive.
Then you should.
Yeah,
I think I should.
I got a house here last year.
Congratulations,
Yes.
man. May the house bring you all the luck.
Yes.
That's great. Okay,
I'll take inspiration and I'll do one such big purchase in the next
you
year.
have to, because you know what? Every time you do something great, it punctuates. You remember, ये solitaire मैंने लिया था for that.
True.
Your husband is listening to me. Okay, pick one. A 10 lakh brand deal for your product you didn't believe in, or a 50,000 gig that aligns with your passion.
50,000 gig.
I think I'll also go for the 50,000 deal.
10 lakh.
Really?
I'll go with the 10 lakh.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, 20 times the cost.
I would earn that money with something different.
No, but I have enough talent to think I'll always align something with my passion, but right now I'm getting 20 times the cost.
I think there's a small difference between, I'm sorry, I mean, I'm being really,
Yeah, absolutely.
candid, but there's a difference between an actor and a social media influencer. Because when I say that I use this and this is really good, they feel that, okay, Rachna is saying this, there must be some genuineness in this. They understand that you are playing some role maybe, and it's just that in the capacity as an actor that you are saying that. Is
No.
what my understanding
So I've
is.
got enough and more offers to do stuff that I don't believe in.
Okay.
Okay, like I will not endorse certain category of products.
Yeah.
They have offered me 5 times more.
Yeah.
But that's not the question. The question is a 10 lakh brand deal for a product you don't believe in.
Don't
Yeah.
believe in.
So for example, I get a lot of offers for doing betting apps.
Same.
Ah.
Same.
So I say no to them. I have
Yes.
gotten emails which said, ma'am, you can put the amount on the blank
Yeah,
check.
and they charge way more than 10 lakhs.
I said,
Right.
I will not
So
even
you will
accept
not
that.
sell your
No, I will not.
integrity.
Yeah, I will not.
For 20 times.
But
the
again,
amount.
that's a brand decision.
Yeah, so for me, if it's, for example, if my integrity is in question.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, if somebody says, why don't you sell a football?
Yeah.
No, I don't play football.
Yeah.
But a football
That's
is not a
okay.
bad deal.
Exactly, that's okay.
I don't believe in the football because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but hey, you want to show me as a football player and you're going to pay me 20 crores?
Yeah, that's what she. But if I have to sell a football on my profile, my audiences know that I have never played football.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what.
difficult,
There is a
yeah.
difference over there.
True,
Yeah.
So yeah, if you tell me, boss, I'll pay you 20 times your net worth
Yeah.
and sell me a branded product which is a disguised tobacco product.
Yeah.
For me, I will never be able to live with it.
True.
It's a selling of my soul.
Correct,
True.
correct.
But good. But definitely a 50,000 gig that aligns with your passion. Great. Break the myth, shall you? Okay, the question is, you need to be rich to quit your job and follow your dreams.
No.
No.
Creators can't save for retirement.
I think
they
that's
can.
true for a lot of people.
Yeah,
There is,
they have.
Again, it's about discipline. It's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you save and
Save,
invest.
right.
So if they don't have that correct direction, there could be a
So
possibility.
you're
that
saying it's not a myth?
it's not a myth, maybe.
Okay,
They
that's a
can
great
save. What I
insight.
feel.
They can save.
Once you make it big, the money keeps flowing without effort.
No. Big no. Big N-O.
If anything, more effort.
Exactly.
Yeah, same.
Because now you have stakes, you have things to lose.
Yeah.
It's even
And you have
harder.
critics and you have people who are ready
Yes.
to take your place.
True. Yes.
Absolutely. I agree with you. You're 2 months into your dream project, but savings are drying up. What's your next move?
Find an investor.
Borrow money. That's the
Borrow
only-
money?
Yeah, I think.
Or find an investor?
I'll find an
I think
investor.
finding an investor is borrowing money, if I'm not wrong.
No.
No.
No. Okay. Then
Borrowing
find-
money. Yeah.
Borrowing money is, it doesn't matter what the outcome is, you have to pay him.
Yeah.
An investor is somebody who shares their idea and
Yeah.
ready to pitch in the
So
risk with you.
I'll sell him my vision. If he believes in my vision, he'll participate with his money. We divide the profits.
Then I meant investor only.
Great. Super.
The t-shirt inside
Thank you
me
for
just-
educating us both. Okay, what's one vice you wish you could give up? Do you have a vice?
I think I'm a wise. I'm very lazy. Yeah.
Ah.
If I would have been little less lazy, and I procrastinate a lot before doing. So अगर वो कम कर दूँ तो I would be able to produce more.
I agree with you. I'm exactly that.
Yeah.
I keep thinking when you stand at the pearly gates,
Yeah.
God's going to give me one slap across the face. इतना तेरे को दिया था, कुछ नहीं किया. I'm afraid of that. I'm really afraid of that.
I think for me, it's doing a lot of things at a time. I just, put too much on my plate. Then I get irritated. My husband suffers from it because whenever I'm mad, I'll just, download all the, anger with him.
Right.
If I can, just understand how much I can take on the plate and act accordingly. That is one thing I need to learn.
Great. If you can call that a vice. That's not a vice. Anyway, a YouTube or an Instagram comment on your content that has stayed with you.
When I came on the television for the very first time on one of the finance shows, I got this comment saying that आज मुझे ऐसे लगा मेरी बेटी television पे आ गई है.
How nice.
Yeah. Mine was not about music, surprisingly. It was about a mimicry that I do. And it was a mimicry video of Irfan Khan that I did. And his son had texted me saying that I know many people do mimicry of my dad, but when you do it, it actually sounds like he's speaking. So yeah, that was the best one.
How nice.
Yeah.
How very nice. He's a very sweet kid.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. The worst business decision you've ever made?
It could be a brand deal which I should have done, and I left it.
Not sure.
Not so sure?
No.
No wrong decisions by
It's not like that. I mean, I would not take that decision rather than taking that decision and going wrong. If I'm not sure, I just pass. I say no.
Nice. Okay, we're very two different personalities on this. Very good. Okay, if you, your next question is, if you could switch lives with someone else from your field, who would that be?
No one. I really enjoy the space I'm in right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Anil Singhvi sir, he's a chartered accountant and I believe that he's my teacher. He has not taught me like live one-on-one, but I've learned a lot from him. So if I get the wisdom that he has, I'm sure I'll be able to pass on that wisdom to all my followers as well.
Excellent. Okay. If you're not doing your current job, what would you be doing?
I think I would like to be an animator or make films, animated films. I really enjoy that.
Animate filmmaker. Okay, how about you?
Going back to college and teach.
Oh, really? Yeah, I enjoy teaching
Yeah.
too. You know, you could see the
That energy, that
Yeah.
feedback that we get
Yeah.
right then and there, it's
I
electric.
love to see
It's electric.
adults having baby faces when they are listening to you. You know,
True, true.
I love to see that what this guy would be looking like when he was a
But
kid.
tell me,
Because
teaching is different from a live performance that you do?
very much.
Acha.
Because teaching, you can see right away when somebody is losing interest in you.
Yeah.
The reactions are spontaneous.
Oh.
So when you give a speech, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so when I used to teach for CA, these used to be like big classrooms, like 500, 600 kids in one classroom. So I was dictating something to my students and there was one boy who was sitting right at the last bench and I said, hey, you stop playing Candy Crush. He said, I'm sorry for what I did, but how did you understand my phone? It's impossible that you can see my phone. I said, when I was dictating, everyone's hand was moving like this. Your hand was moving like this and like this.
Yeah.
So I think this is
To a
what we...
student.
Yeah. Yeah, that you're able to capture that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
That's how, that it's situational awareness of knowing
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
you're losing interest or your audience is losing interest in you while you're teaching is an extraordinary skill, and it's also a great feedback. So I've gone to speeches prepared, and said this is what I'm going to talk about, and I've realized that my entire audience is in a completely different mood.
Yeah, yeah.
The speech or the talk that I give before lunch is very different from a talk that I give after lunch. You have to know whether you're talking before or after lunch. The talk that you give before an A.R. Rahman performance is very different from a talk that you give after an A.R. Rahman performance in the same event.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how cued on you have to be. So anyway, that's
Yeah.
But thank you so very much, you guys. It was lovely talking to you.
Same.
I wish you all the very best in every aspect of your life that you're doing. Keep taking these leap of faith with proper parachutes, if possible. But I wish you all the very best and keep doing good the way you're doing it. It's wonderful, and it's nice to see people doing good while they're doing well.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Is it okay if I sing 2 lines for you?
Absolutely. Oh, of course. Yes, yes.
Lovely.
By all means.
तड़पाए मुझे तेरी सभी बातें, एक बार है दीवाने, झूठा ही सही प्यार तो कर। मैं भूली नहीं हंसी मुलाकातें, बेचैन करके मुझको मुझसे यूं ना फेर नजर। रूठेगा ना मुझसे मेरे साथिया, ये वादा कर, तेरे बिना मुश्किल है जीना मेरा, मेरे दिल बर वसीगरा ये नंजिनिका उन पुन्मदियिल तुंगिनाल पोदुमदे कणम एन कण्णुरंगा उन जन्मगळिन नी कंगळ तीरुन्नान Okay, I think
Very well done. If Dia or Rima
That's
was
some
here,
Visharad right there.
Dia or Rima were here with my 16 left foot, I would have been dancing with them right now. But thank you. That brought back great memories. And you're a lovely and a very talented young lady. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to imitate Irfan Khan sahab for us?
I would sing a song.
Okay,
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
बोलो बोलो क्या बात हुई है, क्यों है दीवाने इस दिल में, हलचल हलचल फिरता हूँ मैं तो गलियों में, पागल पागल दिल तेरा दिल कोई लेके गया, मेरा दिल तेरा दिल कोई लेके गया ऐसा पहले तो ना हुआ. That's the song.
That's wonderful, guys. Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah,
Before we take, you know, whenever I used to hear these songs,
Yeah.
and I know I'm supposed to perform it,
Yeah.
I'll be there counting the lines. अच्छा, इसमें 12 beats, 8 beats, पूरे गाने में 180 beats. इतना नाचना पड़ेगा मेरे को. Can you believe it? I'm ashamed that I was so afraid of dancing that you know I never realized the potential of these songs.
What are you saying? You look great in those videos.
I'm a very good actor, brother. I'm telling you. but you know, it was the fear in my face when I read it. इतना लंबा गाना क्यों है? छोटा कर दे यार. वो heroine को दे दे. Let her dance. You know, because I really, you know, we were just discussing earlier. The ability to dance and entertain people is not a talent that I possess. But anyway, thank you so very much. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as much as I did. I learned so much from it, and I'm very grateful to our two very young, enterprising experts who've been with us. I hope that this is a changing and a special moment and podcast in your lives too. Thank you.